likely to happen anyway. They'd hate her just for being a Nightwing. Everybody did. Except the Nightwings, who hated her for not being enough of a Nightwing. I really don't want to stay here, Moon said again. I know, her mother said kindly, but you have to, and it'll be good for you. I think you'll like it better than the Nightwing village, you'll see. At least Jade Mountain won't be full of Nightwings, her mind went on. I like being wherever you are, Moon said, and I don't mind the other Nightwings that much. Most of them are awful, and you know it, Secret Keeper pointed out. They were both thinking of the stares, the whispers, the open jealousy and hostility when Secret Keeper brought her healthy, well-fed dragonette back into the tribe. That was 6 months ago, after the volcano destroyed their island and all the Nightwings had moved into the rainforest. Queen Glory had officially forgiven her for breaking tribe rules, but that didn't mean anyone else had. Here you'll be with much nicer dragons, like Sunny and Starflight. Remember you met them and you liked them? I want to be with you, Moon replied simply. It wasn't fair to finally be given all the time she wanted with her mother, to be with her every moment of the day, instead of stolen hours a few times a week, and then have to have it all taken away again. I'll visit, her mother promised. You'll see me all the time, and you'll make friends here. I'm sure you will. Well, I hope you will, my weird little diamond. I'm not a weird little diamond, Moon protested. Secret Keeper crouched and put her face right in front of Moon's. You need to stop doing that, remember, she whispered. If you only hear it in your head, don't respond. No one can know about your curse.
When you're letting out your inner rock star, the show must always go on. That means downloading your music so it's always with you, even when you're on the road. Keep the music you love close with Spotify Premium, and you'll never miss out on an epic offline listening experience. Right now, you can get 3 whole months completely free and cancel anytime. Tap the banner to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made only on Spotify.
Everybody thinks Nightwings don't have powers anymore. They won't know what to do with you if they find out. And how will you make friends that way? Her mind worried. If you keep guessing their thoughts and making them uncomfortable. Or they might not believe you, and then they'll hate you for lying. So don't let them find out, all right? I know, Moon answered. Stay secret, stay hidden, stay safe. All the years of pretending to have mind-reading powers had made the Nightwings truly fear the idea of any dragon reading their minds. She paused. So, isn't this really dangerous? What if I make a mistake here, with all these different kinds of dragons around? You won't. You'll be careful, Secret Keeper said firmly. I know it's terrible to be the way you are, but if you keep it a secret, you can have a normal life. No one needs to know that you're not a normal dragon. Understand? Are you ready to go inside? Not yet, Moon said. Can we watch for a little longer? Secret Keeper sighed. Sure. She's so nervous all the time. I'm sure I was never that nervous when I was a dragonette. Moon frowned up at her mother. She was glad the mind listening only went one way, but sometimes, like now, she wished her own mind could shout back, Don't you think maybe there's a reason I'm like this? Oh, look, Secret Keeper said obliviously, her eyes lighting up. She pointed to the sky, where blue and green wings were sailing down toward them. Sea wings! Do you see the one with the ropes of pearls? I think that's their queen. Queen Coral, Moon recited. One thing she could do that didn't involve being stared at by other dragons or accidentally saying the wrong thing was study. And so she'd done a lot of that to prepare for Jade Mountain Academy. Those two must be her daughters, since she never lets them out of her sight. I don't know who the other one is. Remember not to show off, her mother said. I mean, thank you for telling me, but the other dragons might not like you if you always know all the answers. Moon stared down at her claws. It was pretty clear from Secret Keeper's thoughts that her mother was a lot more worried about whether other dragons would like Moon than she was about whether Moon would like them. That, in fact, didn't seem to be among her concerns at all. A deep blue sea wing came barreling out of the entrance cave as the other sea wings landed. "You came!" she called happily. Her wings flared out and wrapped around the older daughter, who was a pale white pink, like the inside of seashells. The smaller daughter, who had to be less than a year old, bounced around their hug, yelping and trying to get in. She was attached to the queen by a long harness, which kept getting tangled under her talons and tripping her. "I'm really not sure about this," Queen Coral said in a rumbly voice. She was the same shade of blue as the sea wing who was now being tackled by the little dragonette. In fact, Moon guessed they might be mother and daughter. "Oh, I'm a snail brain," she realized. "That must be Tsunami." The famous sea wing princess from the prophecy had been in the rainforest for a while, but Moon hadn't met her before Tsunami left to work on getting the Jade Mountain Academy ready. "It'll be great," Tsunami promised the queen. "I'll take care of Anemone, I promise." She grinned at her sister. Me too, yelled the small dragonette. "I want to go to school too." She pounced on her harness and wrestled it to the ground, growling at it. "You are much too young," Coral said sternly. She tugged the little princess upright. "I can't risk anything happening to you, especially while Anemone is this far away." "Maybe next year, Auklet," Tsunami said. The little dragon beamed hopefully. The queen frowned at Tsunami. "And I'm only letting this happen because Anemone has been badgering me about it every day since she got your message about the school. But you can come home any time, you understand, if you feel threatened or lonely or overworked or tired." "I'll be fine," Anemone said, wriggling away from her mother's hug. Moon felt her own wings drooping. Why didn't Secret Keeper want to keep her close like that? Why wasn't she getting a speech about coming home the moment she got lonely? Was it because her mother thought she was cursed? Maybe Secret Keeper really wanted to keep Moon as far away from her as possible. Her thoughts never quite said that, but she'd learned to block some of them over the last 4 years, and she did worry all the time about Moon's mind reading. Moon wasn't sure she wanted to be normal if it meant grumping around, thinking only her own thoughts and mostly all about herself, the way most Nightwings did. But her mother seemed very sure that she'd be happier that way. Maybe acting normal was something she could learn here. "Who's this?" Tsunami asked, turning to the last Sea Wing dragonette, who sat behind Queen Coral with a patient expression on his face. He looked about Moon's age, and he was dark green, like an emerald hidden in a cave, with flashes of brighter green underscales and hints of gold in his eyes. He was a little plump, with a sweet extra curve to his snout and upper arms, and his webbed talons were splayed out, like he was worried the wind would shove him off the mountain. Unlike Anemone and Auklet, he was not adorned with pearls and jewels. His only accessory was a kind of gold armband, studded with glittering black rocks. "This is one of your brothers," Queen Coral said. "He heard about this and really wanted to come too. Which one are you again?" "Turtle," he said, shooting Tsunami a friendly smile. "One of my brothers?" Tsunami echoed.
Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made, only on Spotify.
I didn't realize, I guess I knew the male eggs were surviving every time your female eggs were destroyed by the orca statue, but I didn't even think about having brothers. "There are about 30 of us," Turtle said with a shrug. 30? Tsunami shouted. "I have 30 brothers?" "Well, 32, he said. His gaze caught Moon watching, and he wrinkled his snout in an amused way. "Why didn't you mention this before?" Tsunami demanded, whipping toward her mother. "Who cares about them?" Coral asked. "They can't inherit the throne." Moon tilted her head at Turtle, expecting a reaction, and realized she wasn't hearing any thoughts from him. Nothing at all. Just a quiet hum, almost a soothing blankness. That was strange. Moon had only met a few dragons who could block her reading at all, and then only sometimes, and they didn't even seem to know they could do it. A couple of Nightwings had prickly mental shields around some of their secrets, but Queen Glory was the best at it. The Rainwing Queen clearly wasn't intentionally shielding her thoughts from mind readers, but whenever she got uncomfortable, some kind of instinctive wall went up around her mind. She did the same thing with her scales, keeping them from showing her emotions. It was unsettling, but in a way that always made Moon really curious. What were they hiding? Was their shielding ability something they inherited, or something they instinctively developed? Turtle wasn't like Glory or those Nightwings, though. His mind didn't feel like a thorny wall radiating, "I've got secrets, keep out." It was just serenely still. How was he hiding his thoughts so absolutely? He looked so placid and ordinary. On the other Talon, one thing Moon had been able to figure out so far was that nobody was ordinary on the inside. Tsunami rolled her eyes. "Well, I'm happy to meet you, Turtle," she said, "and I'm glad you're joining our school so I can get to know you better." "I want to see everything before I leave," said Queen Coral. Moon caught twin threads of annoyance from Tsunami and Anemone, but Tsunami just nodded. "Of course, come inside." As the Sea Wings disappeared into the cave, Turtle looked back at Moon one more time, and Moon suddenly had a dizzy, tilting feeling that the mountain was sliding down toward her. Darkness flashed before her eyes, and then a strange image, in bits and pieces, like a puzzle whirling together. A beach, sunlight, and Turtle, pinning Anemone to the sand as the white-pink dragon writhed in pain. Then it was gone, and when she blinked, so was the Sea Wing family. Chapter 2. Moon shivered. What was that? But she knew. She'd known since she read the scrolls that said Nightwing powers include mind reading and visions of the future. That was where her nightmares came from. The future. What she didn't know was whether the visions were inevitable, or how to interpret them, or what in Pyria to do about them since, as far as she could tell, she was the first Nightwing in hundreds of years to have the legendary powers of the tribe. Lucky me. And if the other Nightwings wouldn't be able to handle mind reading, she was pretty sure visions from the future weren't going to go over well either. She hadn't even told her mother about those. One curse was bad enough. Turtle hadn't looked sinister at all, despite the weird blankness of his mind, and she knew quite a lot about sinister vibes after living with the Nightwings for the last few months. But perhaps any dragon could become dangerous as they got older. Although, he hadn't looked much older or bigger in the vision. Or perhaps he was simply much better at hiding his true nature than any other dragon she'd met before. "Wow, a real queen," Secret Keeper said. "I've never seen one before." "You see Queen Glory all the time," Moon pointed out, only half listening. "Queen Glory is barely older than you are," Secret Keeper answered. "I mean a real queen, someone who's ruled her tribe for years and years." Moon studied her mother sideways. Many of the Nightwings harbored bitter thoughts about having a Rainwing for their queen now, but she didn't think her mother was one of the grumblers. "All right," her mother said, suddenly and briskly. "That's enough hiding in the shadows and observing. Time for you to go find your cave." "Already?" Moon was seized with a horribly familiar feeling of terror. "Alone? Aren't you coming inside?" "This will be good for you," her mother said. "I hope. Remember, Secret Keeper. Be strong. Just turn and fly away. I love you, and I will see you soon." Secret Keeper took a step back, averting her face, and Moon glimpsed a thought track her mother had been carefully burying. "Oh, I hope this is the right thing. What am I doing? How do I know if this will be good for her?" Moon's heart leaped. She doesn't want to leave me, she realized with a surge of hope, but her mother was already hugging her and whispering hurried goodbyes in her ear. "Wait," Moon said desperately. "What if I came next year instead? What if—" "Trust me, Moonbud," her mother said, cupping Moon's snout in her front talons. "You will love it here. Just keep your curse hidden, and you'll be fine. Act normal, no matter what happens, and write to me soon. Goodbye." A moment later, Secret Keeper was just a dark shape winging away through the threadbare clouds, taking Moon's heart away with her. Moon stayed under the tree for a while, decidedly not crying, and watched more students arrive. There weren't actually 1,000, she knew.
With family, duo, individual, and student plans, there's a whole world of premium waiting. Get a family plan and add up to 6 accounts under one roof. Join Duo with one other listener. Treat yourself with the individual plan, or get a discounted rate if you're a student. Upgrade to premium to unlock 1 month free. Tap the banner to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made, only on Spotify.
There were only 35 students, and it was a privilege to be one of the first few invited to attend, which made, why me, an even more mysterious question. Well then, she thought, when she couldn't put it off anymore. Imagine this is the rainforest, and you're hungry, and your mother's been gone for 3 days, and you can smell a bunch of bananas inside the cave. If I could be brave enough to feed myself when I had to, I can be brave enough to walk into a school and find the place I'm supposed to be. She shook back her wings, waited for a moment when all was quiet on the landing ledge, and darted forward into the yawning mouth of the entrance cave. "Hello!" A voice accosted her loudly, while Moon's eyes were still adjusting to the dimmer light inside. "Welcome to the Great Hall of Jade Mountain. Let me guess. You're Moonwatcher, aren't you?" "I'm tremendously good at guessing. In fact, one might even say I'm mysteriously good at it." The welcoming dragon, whose scales were midnight black, lowered her voice. "Almost as though I'm reading your mind, eh?" Moon stared at the Nightwing in fright. Had she been discovered already? Before even saying a word? What will Mother say? "Just kidding," said the older Nightwing. "Maybe. I'm Fate Speaker. I'm not a teacher like the others. I'm just helping wherever I can. Here's your welcome scroll and your map." She thrust 2 scrolls into Moon's talons. "Hey, look, you have silver scales next to your eyes just like I do. Yours are bigger and sparklier, though. It is Moonwatcher, right?" "Yes, Moon." Now she recognized this Nightwing, which she should have been able to do from her first thought. She only knew 2 Nightwings apart from her mother who didn't radiate gloom and anxiety. Starflight had a more thoughtful energy, while Fate Speaker's hopefulness poured out of her like overenthusiastic sunlight. Moon had seen the 2 of them from afar in the Nightwing village several times, although they had both chosen to live with the Rainwings instead. She glanced around, wondering hopefully if Starflight was nearby. He was the Nightwing from the false prophecy, and he'd been blinded when the volcano exploded. Usually, Fate Speaker was with him, guiding him, but not today. The enormous entrance cave looked as though it could fit 400 dragons comfortably, with room for more to soar overhead. Sunlight poured in, illuminating the craggy walls and rippled ceiling, where cascades of golden-browned stalactites hung down, some of them reaching all the way to the floor to form twisted columns. Hanging against the back wall was a huge bronze gong with 3 flying dragons carved into it. A banner woven of green vines had been strung from one massive stalactite to another in the center of the cave, with letters spelled out in giant purple and white flowers. "Welcome, students." 2 tunnel openings yawned along the left wall of the cave, 2 more on the right. Next to each one, a map was posted showing where the tunnels went. The whole cave was busy with bustling dragons, families saying goodbye, friends saying hello, a few dragons carrying around prey or scrolls. But Moon didn't see Sunny or Starflight anywhere, to her disappointment. Her mother was right. They had been kind to her, and Moon liked them. She particularly liked that, for the most part, their thoughts matched what they said and did. "Moon, Moon, Moon," Fate Speaker muttered, rolling a scroll between her claws on the floor and scanning it closely. "Ah, here you are. 2nd tunnel on the left, 5th cave on the right." She flicked her tail and grinned at Moon. "You're going to love your clawmates." Apparently, I'm going to love all sorts of things, Moon thought, and then she noticed what Fatespeaker had said. Clawmates? She echoed. What are those? The dragons you're sharing a cave with, Fatespeaker said brightly. Moon's wings shivered involuntarily, all the way out to her wingtips. Sharing a cave? All the time? Ooh, here come some ice wings, Fatespeaker cried. Want to stick around and meet them? No thanks, Moon stammered. She hurried to the second tunnel on the left, and as she turned into it, she heard a whoosh of wings and felt a cold chill sweep through the cave. She peeked back around the corner and saw two haughty-looking ice dragons pace inside, frowning. No, she definitely did not want to meet them now, or, in fact, ever. Fifth cave on the right, Moon murmured to herself, moving on. The tunnel wound in a curving shape, like a slithering tail, down into the mountain. Overhead, grass green and butterfly blue and hibiscus yellow glass globes hung from a wire strung along the ceiling, each of them glowing with fire so the walls were lit with color. It didn't feel like she was going underground. It felt more like the sunlit canopy of the rainforest. Moon had been picturing dark gray tunnels and cramped stone caves, but now that she thought about it, she realized Sunny wouldn't have wanted her school to be anything like the gloomy caves under the mountain where the Prophecy Dragonettes grew up. Soon the tunnel straightened out, and Moon could see small cave openings all along either side. This must be the corridor of sleeping caves. She could sense that some of them had 2 or 3 dragonettes inside already. Each cave she passed seemed to be bristling with chatter and wings and claws and spiky thoughts that clamored for space in her head. Father said they have a library. I'm going to learn to read. Oh, I hope I'm not the only one who can't read yet. That would be so embarrassing. What do they eat up in the mountains? We'd better get seagulls sometimes, and soon.
Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made, only on Spotify.
Gosh, I'm hungry. Would anyone be mad at me if I went looking for seagulls? I wonder where the Prophecy Dragonettes are. I wonder if they'll notice me. So cold here. I miss the desert. They really expect me to share a cave with a rainwing? Moon scrunched her eyes shut, trying to hold back the headache. This was what it had been like when she first joined the Nightwing Village. After the peace and quiet of solitary life in the rainforest, all those voices in her head had been a horrible shock, especially when they were all so resentful and hostile. They still echoed in there, even though the Nightwings were too far away now for her to actually hear them. It's not fair. Secret Keeper should be punished. I bet she thinks she's better than us. Imagine getting to eat every day. That dragonette doesn't know anything about our tribe, or what we went through living on the volcano. How can she ever be one of us? She had a feeling, perhaps more of a wishful hope, that there should be a way to block out all the voices. But of course there was no one who could teach her how to do that. Mostly she dealt with the Nightwing noise by escaping to the tallest tree or farthest waterfall. But where could she go here? She'd be stuck in classes, or trapped in a cave with her clawmates. Her brain would always be full of the din of other dragons. I'll figure it out. I'll make this work. Or I'll run back to the rainforest and deal with Mother's disappointment. Moon opened her eyes again and fixed her gaze on the 5th cave. She squeezed past a pair of chatting sandwings who were taking up most of the tunnel, and one of them stared at her intently with his obsidian black eyes. Nightwing flashed through his head. Thorn doesn't like them. We just sent a couple back to Glory as her prisoners. We have no idea what they can do in battle yet, especially if it's true they really have no powers at all. Needs further study. She's kind of cool looking, with those silver scales by her eyes. Seems nervous, twitching her wings back to look smaller than she is. Up to something? Or shy? Moon tried not to look back at him as she went by. She tried to seem unobtrusive and harmless and part of the shadows. Her sleeping cave had a few stalactites hanging over the doorway like jagged teeth. She ducked inside and found more fire-lit glass globes strung across the ceiling in here, one green, one of fiery red gold, and one yellow. 2 more globes, unlit, rested on ledges on either side of the door, and there was another at her level on the far side of the cave. She picked each one up and breathed a small flame onto the candles inside to set them alight, then surveyed the space nervously. It was nicer than she'd expected. The doorway made up one wall, and a sleeping spot had been arranged along each of the other 3 walls. One of these was a bare rock ledge, another was a pile of rainforest leaves and mosses, and the third was a woven green hammock ingeniously suspended from the roof. Moon hesitated. It seemed as if the beds had been deliberately designed with different dragons in mind, but she wasn't sure which one was meant for her. She knew which one she wanted, but how would someone else have guessed what she'd like? Maybe she should wait for her clawmates and see what they wanted. I wish I could have a private cave. Maybe if I asked Starflight really nicely. She noticed that there were also 5 mahogany scroll racks arranged around the cave, about the height of her foreleg, each polished until they were smooth as her scales. There was an empty one next to each bed, and one on either side of the door. She took a closer look and realized with a jump of happiness that the ones by the door were filled with scrolls. A little sign above these 2 said, "Free reading. Hope you like them." Moon slid her welcome scroll and her map scroll into one of the empty racks, then wrapped her tail around her back talons and started going through the scrolls by the door. It was a mix of all the kinds of things that interested her: history, adventure stories, ancient legends, encyclopedias of all the plants and animals in each tribe's territory. Suddenly she remembered Starflight finding her with a scroll one day. He'd quizzed her on what she liked to read. If he chose these for me, he must have really been listening. She noticed that there weren't any of the recent scrolls about the dragonettes of the prophecy and their epic quest to end the war of Sandwing succession. She guessed with a smile that whoever had selected these, Starflight, Sunny, Glory, found those particular scrolls rather embarrassing. She also found one early reader scroll that must have been written for tiny dragonettes, with giant letters and a guide to the alphabet. This seemed so out of place that she sat and puzzled over it for a minute. Is this for one of my clawmates? Am I going to be living with a 1-year-old? Her mother had mentioned that the academy would take dragonettes of various ages, so maybe it was possible, although it seemed weird. Out of nowhere, Moon felt a sudden burst of angry energy like a spear driving through her skull. She crumpled forward, clutching her head, as shouts and roars echoed in the hall. "Get your fish-smelling tail away from me! I've faced bigger sea wings than him in battle if he's trying to start something. Don't you dare blow smoke in my face! She could be one of the Sky Wings who destroyed our summer palace." "Ow," Moon whispered. "Ow, ow, ow." The headache was so blistering, she considered running into the rock wall to knock herself out. And then, very softly, under all the yelling, she heard, "Aha, there you are." Moon's head snapped up, and she winced as another bolt of pain crackled through it. This voice,
"You've got a long car journey home and absolutely no desire to start cooking when you get there. We got buy one, get one free on any size pizza when you collect. Order ahead and pick up on the way home. Plus, the car will smell amazing."
Domino.
Subject to availability, T's and C's apply. See boring legal stuff at dominoes.co.uk.
Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made, only on Spotify.
It was unlike anything she'd ever heard before. It sounded crisp and clear and right in her ear, as if it was talking to her. I am talking to you. Instinctive fear whipped through Moon's veins, paralyzing her. All of her mother's nightmare scenarios started playing again in her head. Don't trust anyone new. Don't trust anything unusual. Don't let anyone know what you can do. Stay secret. Stay hidden. Stay safe. 3 moons, said the voice. Aren't you a jumpy one? Who are you? Moon whispered. Who are you? It answered back. And then, as if the speaker had plucked the answer from her thoughts, hello, Moon Watcher. Another telepath? How is that possible? Moon tried to push back. She imagined reaching out with her talons, trying to grab onto the voice and open up what was happening in the mind behind it. It's as if you've had no training at all, the voice chuckled. How old are you? Again, the pause. And this time, Moon thought furiously of as many different numbers as she could. 95, 76, 12. 4 already, and that's all you can do? Who are you? Moon demanded. How are you doing that? You really have no idea, the voice mused, with a hint of puzzlement. Fascinating. Let me think about that. She listened, pressing her temples to hold the headache at bay, but the voice didn't come back. Are you still there? She whispered. No response. Did I imagine it? Maybe I imagined it. Maybe the headache and all the noise out there just confused me. Or maybe mind reading is finally driving me crazy. She shook her head and blinked. But if it was a real mind reader, maybe they could teach me how to use my powers. Or expose me to everyone, now that they know who I am, while I have no idea who they are. Moon drew her wings around her with an anxious shiver. Hey now, hey there. Stop, stop, stop. A real voice called in the hallway, interrupting the squabble. Clay, clamored several voices at once in Moon's head. It's him, it's really him. Ooh, he's even cuter in real life. Ooh, look at his heroic limp. Ooh, I think he looked at me. Moon poked her head out of her cave and saw the large, sloping back of the Prophecy Mudwing. Clay was gently holding apart a writhing sea wing and a hissing sky wing. It's only the first day, folks, he said genially. Nothing to be so grumpy about already. You're probably both just hungry. Carnelian, take a deep breath and see me later. Pike, walk with me. He spread his wing over the sea wing's shoulder and firmly guided him away down the tunnel. The sky wing watched them go with narrow eyes, growling to herself. Then, to Moon's alarm, she swung around and marched right into Moon's cave. Without saying a word, she threw herself onto the rock ledge bed, folded her large scarlet wings forward over her eyes, and proceeded to stew in sullen silence. One of my claw mates, Moon realized. Yay. She blinked at the skywing for a moment, wondering if she should say something. Her heart was beating fast, and the headache was still there, receding slowly toward the back of her skull. She cleared her throat, swallowed, opened her mouth, and then gave up and turned back to the scrolls. Several minutes later, a whirlwind burst into the cave, nearly trampling Moon with bright yellow talons. Oh my gosh, sorry, it yelped. I didn't even see you there. I guess that's a Nightwing skill, hiding in the shadows, right? Haha. They put me in with a Nightwing? Hollered her brain. Hello? Isn't anyone worried about my potential post-traumatic stress? But the little Rainwing didn't drop her enormous smile for a moment. Her scales, too, didn't shift. They stayed a blindingly bright banana yellow, dotted with splotches of alarming raspberry pink. She seized Moon's front talons and pumped them cheerfully up and down. Isn't this exciting? I'm so excited I can hardly stand it. That's why I'm this color, by the way. I have been trying all morning to turn myself something more dignified, and I can't do it. My scales are all like, yay, we're really here, and will not listen to me. Moon noticed that there was one spot on the rain wing that wasn't eye-meltingly colorful, a triangle of 3 small black smudges on her wing that looked like tiny splashes of ink. I'm Kinkajou, the rain wing added, beaming. You're noisy, the sky wing observed from under her wings. I love this place, Kinkajou said. She let go of Moon and bounced over to the hammock, while her thoughts went essentially, library, art, friends. Have you explored it all yet? There's the most amazing library. Not that I can read yet, but oh my gosh, I'm working on it really hard. And an art cave. It's full of all these colors of paint, like a couple of rain wings just emoted all over it. You guys, we should make amazing paintings and then decorate our cave with them. Wouldn't that be amazing? I might literally die of joy, said the Skywing flatly. You look way healthier than most of the other Nightwings, Kinkajou said to Moon, evidently deciding to ignore the Skywing for the moment. Your scales are so shiny. I'd almost guess you were a rainwing in disguise, but you're not, are you? I didn't grow up on the volcano, Moon said softly.
Hey guys, it's Billie Eilish. Listen to today's top hits, a playlist where hits are made, only on Spotify.
My mother hid my egg in the rainforest. Oh, Kinkajou said, and her brain went, aha! I've heard of you. Wow, that's a relief. That means you weren't anywhere near the Nightwings who locked me up. I mean, I'm all for amnesty and making friends across tribes and forgiving each other and everything, but seriously, it was scary there. Like, I thought I might actually die. And so I figured maybe I'd start by making friends with some other tribes first and gradually work my way back around to the Nightwings. But you're hardly a Nightwing at all, so that's okay then. Moon winced. Hardly a Nightwing at all was essentially what she'd been hearing in the Nightwings' thoughts about her for months. It was a little brutal to hear someone just say it out loud. So what's your name? Kinkajou asked. Moon. Moonwatcher. But just Moon, really. Sure, Moon. And who are you? Kinkajou asked the Skywing. I'm a warrior, the Scarlet Dragon thought bitterly, keeping her face hidden. A loyal soldier in Ruby's army, who never did anything to deserve this punishment of schooling and being forced to live with Ditzy and Mumbles over there. Moon hunched her shoulders and looked down at her claws. That wasn't fair. She did not mumble. Kinkajou turned back to Moon, her eyes sparkling. Ooh, it's a mystery, she said. We have to guess our third clawmate's name. I'll go first. I bet it's Squelch. What do you think? Squelch is a cute name, right? Moon didn't think she ought to smile, given the wave of outrage coming off the Skywing. Squelch is a Mudwing name, isn't it? She pointed out. True, said Kinkajou. Maybe her name is Friendly. That would suit her so well. That's not a Skywing name either, Moon said. The red dragon's tail was twitching dangerously. Think outside the box, Moon. Look at her. I'm sure she'd love to be called Friendly. Let's do that until we find out her real name, Kinkajou said, and then broke down in helpless giggles. The Skywing unfolded herself majestically and glared at Kinkajou with her wings spread wide. I have fought in 14 battles, the Skywing thundered. No one giggles at me, least of all a Rainwing who can't even read and knows nothing about war. She jumped off her ledge and swept furiously out the door. There was a pause while Kinkajou got her giggles under control. Ouch, she said, but mostly fair. Although I think being imprisoned and experimented on by Nightwings and then injured during a royal challenge should give me some battle credit, don't you? I think Clay said her name is Carnelian, maybe? Moon offered. Oh, that's pretty, Kinkajou said. Do you mind if I take the hammock, by the way? Moon shook her head. The moss bed is all right with me. That's what you slept on while you were growing up on the rainforest floor, right? Kinkajou guessed, nodding. This will be so great. We can bond over how much we miss papayas and adorable sloths. But I don't miss anything yet. It's too fabulous here. Come see the library. Oh, Moon said nervously. I think I'll stay here for a bit longer. I need to just, Nonsense, Kinkajou said. She poked one of Moon's wings with her own. We're in a new place. This is really exciting. I want to show you everything. Oh, I hope she's not boring, Kinkajou's mind whispered. I don't mind shy. I can handle shy, but please don't be boring. Moon straightened her shoulders and folded her wings back. It meant boring to her first possible chance at a friend here. All right, let's go, she said, taking a deep breath. Yay! Kinkajou cried. She bounded out the door and Moon followed. As she stepped into the hallway, she heard it again, that bell of a voice in her mind. Oh, Moonwatcher, my new favorite dragon. This dragonette with a brain full of bubbles is not your only possibility. I believe you and I are destined for a great friendship. Moon shivered. Was it real? Was there a dragon somewhere reaching out to her? If so, how? And who was it? Another student? Was it a fellow Nightwing, mysteriously hatched with the tribe's long-lost powers, just like her? How could she hide from someone who knew exactly what she was? I can help you, the voice whispered. And better yet, you can help me. Chapter 3. Moon couldn't handle a mystery mind voice and a new school full of noisy dragons all at the same time. She shoved her worries about the voice to the back of her head and tried instead to wrestle with the exhausting energy radiating off Kinkajou. Where are we going? Moon asked the Rainwing as they headed along the tunnel, past all the sleeping caves, away